Hey everyone, welcome to your Self-Helpless snack, where we give you a little taste of the podcast with a mini episode. Today is a bit different because it's more of an announcement. So, throughout the years, Self-Helpless has been around for going on 8 years now, and we've been asked by Self-Helpless subscribers. I've also been asked by past clients of mine and subscribers to my email list, the D list, if Self-Helpless or myself would ever do an in person group retreat experience of some kind. And not the way that we've done live self-helpless podcast recording shows at different comedy clubs and stuff in the past where you were able to get a ticket to that. This would be very, very different. So I've always been interested in doing some kind of group retreat since the first time you all had mentioned it. And it really sounds like a blast, but it just never felt like the right time. It seemed pretty overwhelming to plan and execute something like that. And so I wasn't aware that there are companies who handle all of this stuff for you where it wouldn't be such an overwhelming project. And so it's making this seem doable now. And by the way, this company Trova Trip is not a sponsor. I'm not getting paid to talk about this process. I truly just didn't know that these companies that work with podcasters for group travel existed. Just didn't know it was a thing. So if you're interested in something like this, we have a 2-minute survey you can fill out where you can share your travel budget, the locations you'd be interested in, I think different activities, stuff like that. And this would give us an idea of, if people are wanting this kind of thing. And also no worries if not. So my vision for this group retreat, full disclosure, because it might not be your cup of tea. So I want you to know ahead of time. I would want like the minimum amount of people required for booking a trip. So I spoke with this company and they said that's usually around 8 people total. I would like an intimate group setting. A 30-person group sounds very overwhelming. And the whole point of this would be to connect and get to know each other. So I chatted with some friends of mine about this, and one or two of them are already interested in coming on a trip like this. So if we move forward, that leaves maybe 5 or 6 spots that we'd be filling. And I would love for this to be like a creativity, mindfulness, networking type of retreat where we're in a beautiful setting, doing some things in nature, not looking at our phones, eating incredible plant-based food, maybe doing some kind of cool art project, or maybe doing some local, like unique and relaxing activities together. I'm not trying to make this party central where we're getting tanked and going to the club. However, you could do that in your free time, because another thing I would want on this trip is to have downtime in between group stuff for rest and doing stuff that you want to do, whether it's on your own or with someone that you meet on the trip. And then my hope would be that I could learn about what kind of group or individual session you would benefit from. Like, for example, if you have questions about podcasting and you would be interested in a one-to-one with me about your podcast or podcast concept. Or I can make this a group training type of thing if enough people wanted that. Maybe you want to start a business, but you have no idea what to do or where to start. You're looking for writing tips for a project coming up or something. So I would want to bring some kind of additional value based on your interests and my experience to this retreat, whether that's offering one-to-one stuff or group stuff or a mix of both. And then no matter what, I would definitely want us to get together as a group and exchange resources or potential opportunities. Maybe if someone is feeling stuck with something, we all show up and offer support in some way. So there would be a lot of intention behind whatever group session we have together. I would just want everyone to walk away feeling like they unlocked something for themselves on this trip, like whatever that is for you. And if you've been to one of my virtual networking events, I love a good raffle, and the prizes are always fucking incredible. And that would definitely be a part of this too. So, the gifts are products and services with some of the most amazing people and artists and service providers. So, whether it's a virtual makeover session with a celebrity makeup artist, or a meeting with a lit agent, or a custom portrait that's mailed to you, just really cool stuff. So I would curate that as well, and everyone would leave the retreat with a fabulous gift of some kind. I've done a ton of virtual group workshops, trainings, networking events, stuff like that through the years. And it's been an awesome experience. People are still friends with each other from years ago. People have launched businesses, they pivoted careers. They started a podcast, and hit the top charts. Some people even started a podcast or passion project together, stuff like that. So I know a lot of amazing things have come out of these virtual groups, and I can't even imagine how it would feel to do something like that in person. If you've done something like this, As either a host or facilitator or as a guest, I would love to hear about your experience if you'd like to share it. I've never done something like this on either end. And so if you have any tips or want to share what worked or what you felt was lacking or anything like that, I would really love to hear from you. And you can email us at selfhelplesspodcast@gmail.com. And we'll put the email address in the description of this episode as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm a noob in this department, so anything helps. Another thing I want to address, full transparency with how this would work. The expense of my travel and accommodations would be covered. I wouldn't profit off of this trip, but that would be my compensation for working with this company to help plan and offering whatever services I provide in person. So just want to let you know that this would be part of the fee if you were to apply and book this trip with me. So yeah, I mean, maybe you just want to travel and go somewhere with your family and friends instead if you're just considering a vacation or something. This is not a for sure thing that is happening. I'm just in the data collecting phase and I can't guarantee that this will actually be planned and available to book. But if you take 2 minutes and fill out this survey, we can determine if it makes sense to do. And then you will also be notified as soon as the trip is available for purchase. And I will, of course, keep you updated with any announcements about it on the podcast as well. So you can just click the link in this episode's description. It'll take you right to that 2 minute survey. And I think that covers it. Oh, by the way, I think this trip would happen in like 8 to 12 months. So you would have plenty of notice and time to save up and all of that if that was one of the questions that you may have had. All right, everyone. Hope you have a good rest of the day. I look forward to potentially meeting you and spending time with you in real life. And I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for tuning in to Self-Helpless. You can find our brand new merch, Patreon community, and other fun goodies at selfhelplesspodcast.com. We'd be thrilled if you left an Apple Podcast review, shared this episode with a friend, or post about it on Instagram and tag us at Self-Helpless Podcast so we can repost you and say hi. As an independently produced show, we sincerely appreciate your support. Thanks, everybody.